and do this short video because of a conversation that I had with a client today, and as a follow-up to the video that I did, I want to say yesterday, but it could have been the day before. I'm not sure, but it's entitled something to do with quarter four. So check it out because it's the prerequisite for this video. Okay, let me be very clear. So the conversation that I was having in the previous video is really just about preparing yourself for quarter four, and for those people who feel like they need a breakthrough in their business, right? Maybe you're not happy with the results that you had in quarter three. Maybe you're not happy with the results that you've gotten all of 2019. And what I really want people to do is to not give up, right? Sometimes we get close to the end and it's like, bruh, how am I ever going to reach any of these goals that I set for myself at the beginning of the year? I don't want to walk into 2020 with the same goals, okay? So my job in this video and in the last video is to really equip you, right? So you don't have to give up. You'd be surprised. I said this on the last video. I'm going to say it again. You'd be surprised at what 90 days worth of focus will do for you, right? So that's the biggest lesson here. If you don't take nothing else from here, what could you do with 90 days of focus, right? October 1st starts quarter four, okay? So because I understand the answer to that question, and because I know that your whole world could literally shift in 90 days, right? Depending on how much work you put in, right? How much focus you have, and what kind of support you have. I'm a witness. I've seen it happen in a 4-week period of time, let alone a 90-day period of time. Okay. So make sure you go and watch that video first, because this is a follow-up to that. So for those people who did the work in that video from yesterday, right? So essentially what I asked you to do is to get clear about what problem you're having in your business, right? Because when you get clear about what problem you're having in your business, then you understand how to solve, not necessarily how to solve the problem, because just because you know you have a marketing problem, or you know you have a clarity problem, or you know you have whatever problem that you identified, doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to solve it. But what it does do is show you what to invest in. Invest your time in, invest your money in, right? Invest your mindset in, right? You have to first get clear about what you want. So I decided to do this follow-up video because a lot of people, first of all, I'm preparing for a talk that I have to do. I'm speaking, I don't know, Friday, Saturday, one of them days in the Bahamas. And I was just wrapping up and finishing some notes specifically for that talk. So it made me think about it. But then also I signed a new client, a 10K client today. Shout out to me. A client today that made me think about this as well. Okay. So one of the biggest challenges that I had in my business when I first started is that I was investing in the wrong thing. Right. So for those of you who don't know my story, I spent $50,000 over a 6-month period of time. I know, shake your head. It's okay. Okay. I've already let go of all the shame and all the guilt associated with that story. Okay. So I spent all of this money in a short period of time between coaches, conferences, courses, you name it, me trying to figure out how to get it done. Right. And so what I learned through that process, once I came up from underneath being super broke, okay, what I learned through that process is it's not that the information that people were giving me was bad. That's not it. Because almost every coach that I had was a decent coach, right? Was really a good coach. I will say that I had maybe 1 or 2 bad experiences, but for the most part, it wasn't the coach that was the problem. The problem was I was investing in the wrong thing at the wrong time. That was the problem, right? So let's just say you are in the first year of your business, for example, and you see a marketing conference that's coming up, and you really you've heard something about the person's name. For me, it would be Russell Brunson. He's a marketing guru, right? So if I hear his name and I'm early in my business, I'm like, oh, I'm going to this conference because I like him and I need to know about marketing, right? Seems pretty basic. So you go to the conference, all the information is valuable, the people are hyped, blah, 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 right? But when you get done with that conference, you put that shit down because you can't do nothing with it. Why? Because there are prerequisites to marketing, right? So that's what I did. I did all of this stuff, but I did it out of order. And therefore, I could not implement the things that were being shared to me because there were missing pieces, right? So I went to a 5-day, it was like an intensive, I don't even know what you call it. And I learned all kinds of stuff about sales and how to convert people and all these different facets of both marketing and sales, but it was predominantly around sales. And when I got done, it wasn't the information, it wasn't the coach. I loved her and I loved the information. But I was so early in my journey that I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to put it all together. So I say all of this to say, what you invest in matters, okay? Many times it's not the coach's fault. Now, I will say that we as coaches have a responsibility to not just be accepting any and everybody into our program, okay? That's a whole nother live. That's going to require a whole nother day, because I'm not finna rant and rave about that. I do think that we as coaches have a responsibility to understand who is a good fit for our programs and accept that person into the program. If the person is not a good fit, let's say they're not, okay, so I'll think about my ideal client. When people come to me and they have zero idea about what they want to do, they're not a good fit for me, right? It's not that I can't help them, because I could, but it's not fun for me, right? I want someone who has an idea of what they want to do. They just don't know how to do it. That's different, right? The person who doesn't know what they want to do, but they want to create legacy. They want to create wealth. They want to start a business, but they have zero idea on what they want to do. It's not that I can't help you, right? But the quickest path to cash, right? The quickest path to clarity and being able to build systems and to really feel like you're in momentum is you having an idea of what it is that you want to do. You don't have to have a detailed plan, none of that. You don't have to have no details, but you do have to have an idea, right? That makes you a good fit for my program in particular, right? The two people that I work with are people who have been trying. That's the caveat. Is people who have been trying for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the time frame is, and they haven't seemed to catch the momentum that they wanted. Their revenue is inconsistent, or they're attracting the wrong person. They're exhausted. All of that kind of stuff is my ideal client. The person who's brand spanking new, who hasn't even started, I can still help them, but they have to know their idea. If they don't know their idea, they're not going to be a great fit for my program. You as a coach need to have that same kind of idea. You need to know who's a good fit for your program and who's not. Because if you don't, you'll take people into your program. They won't get results. You'll be irritated by that, and they will be even more irritated. And guess what you need? People to be able to rant and rave about you in the community. You can't be the only one talking about how great you are. That sounds like something Trump would do, and I have zero patience for that, okay? So I decided I was going to jump on and just give you some parameters in terms of what to invest in, and you can take it or leave it. My job is to make it easier for you, right? Don't make the same mistakes I did investing in things, in the right things at the wrong time. Right? They were great things to invest in, but they were at the wrong time. Okay? So here's my first one, certifications. So for those of you who are out here getting coaching certifications, how am I going to say this? Because somebody told me the other day when I said that their business was trash, they was like, oh, my business is trash. Now she did follow up with saying, okay, my business is trash, but I'm trying to watch myself, right? Here's what I say. You need to be very mindful. First of all, let me just say it like this. Certifications, depending on what the certification is, that's what I'll say it like this. Because all certifications are not bad, okay? But in the coaching industry, most certifications are trash from the perspective of the fact that it's really an employee mindset that causes you to do a certification, right? Here's what I mean by that. As an employee, you need credentials. You need a degree. You need to have some certifications. You need to have some experience. You need to have all this stuff in order to get a 9-to-5 job, right? In order for me to be a therapist, I needed to have multiple licenses, multiple degrees. I needed to come with a little bit of experience. In this coaching world, it doesn't work that way, right? Most people get certifications because they want to be able to convince people easy that they're worth it. When that's not how it works in the coaching industry. Most people, if I don't tell you, you wouldn't know whether I had a degree or not. You don't know what my degree is in. Now, you probably do because I talk all the time, right? I'm on here all the time talking about something. But think about the top 4 or 5 people you follow, the top 2 people you follow, the last video you watched. Do you know their credentials? In this coaching industry, you could have 0 degrees and make major money, right? So the qualifier is not certification. More times than not, the certification does not show you how to leverage the online platform. It does not show you how to be a CEO. It shows you how to be a coach. And you do realize that those are worlds away, right? Right? Being a great coach and being a CEO, 2 different things. Okay? So That's my first thing, is that certifications have a place, but more times than not, they're not needed. That's you trying to get your own ego and your own feel good and your own self-esteem stuff together, because it's like, well, I don't want nobody to question my price. Oh, well, that's not how you do it. You don't go off and spend a year or 6 months or $10,000 or whatever on a certification so nobody would ask you about your price. Bro, there are far easier, far quicker, less expensive ways to get the same result. Okay. The second thing that I would say is around masterminds. Okay. Masterminds are a big thing in our industry. And I just broke my nail, Jesus. Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, did I just break my nail before my speaking engagement, Jesus? Amen. I digress. Okay. So masterminds, you see, I had to get my whole life together right then, because I just broke my nail. I roll. Okay, let me try to stay focused. Masterminds have a place. Okay. I think masterminds are phenomenal. Let me just, I'm not going to give you the context because that doesn't matter. Okay. However, masterminds, I know I ain't got no sense. I feel like we should just bow our heads and say a little prayer about my nail. I'm out here trying to serve the people and my nail. Anyway, y'all don't need that. You did not come on here for that. Okay, so masterminds are phenomenal. However, they're not suited for most people making the transition from employee to entrepreneur. Here's why I say that. Masterminds are great for scaling. They're not great for building. Can you build within a mastermind? Sure you can. But it's not the most effective way to do it. Why? Because masterminds don't teach you a bunch of information. Right? Masterminds are designed to support you. Right? They're designed to create a community of people around you who are all moving in similar directions. But what it does not do is teach you how to do this, or teach you how to do that, or teach you how to do that, or teach you how to do that. What it does allow you to do is ask questions, right? Vent, get feedback. Those are two separate things, just so we're clear. So if you happen to be in a space where you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and let me just say, that's most people. Why? Because there's no manual for how to do this. So I don't care if you in year 1, 2, 3, 4, if you have these problems. I have inconsistent revenue. Okay. I'm not attracting my ideal client. Either I'm attracting no one or I'm attracting the wrong one. If I don't have a system for getting consistent results with clients, that's not mastermind investment. Those are not things you're going to learn in a mastermind. Those are things that you're going to learn in a group coaching program. Okay. Or a one-on-one coaching if that's what you prefer. Okay. So here's what I'm saying about investing. Number one, if you watched the previous video and you decided, here are the 2 or 3 problems that I have, okay? Then you should be looking at what you're going to invest in to solve those problems. What you should not be doing, depending on the problem, is trying to solve that problem yourself. Guess what? You already tried that. That shit didn't work. Okay? Now, the only caveat to say that is if it's something super simple. But 9 times out of 10, if you're stuck, it's not something super simple. Right? You're not doing the thing that you know you need to do. That's accountability issue. So you need to put yourself in a place where you have greater accountability. Okay? So here's what I think. If you're in the pivoting phase, meaning I'm moving from traditional 9 to 5 to online coaching, or I'm pivoting from multi-level marketing to being an online coach, or I'm pivoting within the same business. Let's just say I've been serving people around personal development, and now I know I need to niche in. Why? Because the last year has been a challenge. I only made a couple thousand here, a couple thousand here, and I just need to rebrand. If you're in the rebranding space, I count that as pivoting. Okay. Anybody who's in those spaces needs brand clarity. Okay. And when I say brand clarity, again, I did a video about this a couple weeks back. Find it. Okay. It says hashtag brand clarity. This is what you, if you're clear, because I want you to know the difference between investing in a group coaching program versus investing in a mastermind. Okay. Group coaching. This is what you need. Okay. You need to understand who your market is, who you want to serve, right? Who your ideal client is, who you don't want to serve, right? The problem that you solve and the outcome that you provide. Those are not things you're going to learn in a mastermind unless you ask that question yourself. Now, let me just say this caveat, because somebody going to jump on here and be like, in my mastermind, okay, well, maybe in your mastermind. But in many masterminds, if you look at the definition of mastermind, right? If people are actually doing what a mastermind is supposed to do. A mastermind is a meeting of the minds, meaning we come together and we brainstorm and we collab and that's not teaching though. Okay. So I'm sure that there is a mastermind somewhere in the world that doesn't fit my description, right? But most masterminds is what I'm talking about. Okay. Most masterminds. So, you need group coaching if you don't know any of these 6 things. Number 1 is your market. You're not sure who you want to serve, or you got multiple avatars. Okay, you're not there yet. And it doesn't mean that you can't serve more than one people, but more than one person. What I'm saying is that you have to understand how to position yourself if you have a wide group of people, which is not the goal. Okay, so your market is who you serve, your niche, the problem you solve, your outcome. Okay, that's one. The second one is your mission. And I'm not talking about, well, my personal, no, I'm not talking about. When I say mission, I'm talking about your personal brand. I'm talking about, well, what makes you different than the other coach who does something similar to you? That you're not going to find that in a mastermind, right? Again, unless you ask the question, unless you do the digging, right? These are not things that are taught, is my point, right? So you need to understand, what do you want to be known for? Okay. And what is your brand voice? Meaning, so y'all know my voice. I'm going to cuss and I'm going to talk about Jesus and I'm going to be very direct, right? And when you have brand clarity and you understand your personal brand, when someone comes to you and says, well, you too loud, or you too this, or you too that, and it's coming, be clear, whether you timid or whether you loud, either way, it's coming. Somebody is coming to tell you the way you're doing it is wrong. But when you have brand clarity, you know whether to tell that person, thank you so much, have a good day, or you know what, I really should consider that, right? Because some feedback is needed and some feedback you should disregard, but you're not going to know whether to disregard it or to hold on to it unless you have brand clarity, because brand clarity allows you to understand what your personal brand is all about. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing is just around your methodology. Right? I see a lot of coaches who have no step-by-step process for how they get results for their clients, and therefore the results they get for their clients are inconsistent. Right? And they mad because their clients is not getting results. But you are the coach. You're supposed to be the leader. You have to have a step-by-step framework that will help you get people results. And in addition to that, having a methodology also helps you understand what to teach, what not to teach, what's needed, when it's needed, right? So if I'm going to teach you about marketing, there is a way to do that in a way that you're going to catch it, right? So if you don't have the gift of teaching, so that happens to be my secondary gift, is teaching, right? That's why some people love me, is because I have the ability to break down concepts in a way that other coaches do not. That's just a natural gifting. I didn't even ask for that. God just gave it to me, okay? That's me understanding my gift. Remember, that's in the mission section. You understanding you. Okay, so that's the third one, is methodology. All I'm doing is laying out, if you don't know any of these things, then you need group coaching. Don't join no damn mastermind. Okay. The fourth one is, which one? Monetization. Okay, so people get so confused around this whole, I could do a whole, and I'm going to do one next week probably when I come back from the Bahamas. A whole video just around monetization. Because I see people making more mistakes in this area than probably any other area other than the market. I see a lot of mistakes in the market area. Okay. So monetization is you understanding your streams of income and deciding which one to start with. Okay. Not trying to do all multiple streams of income at one time, because that's stupid. That's not going to work. Okay. Deciding which one to work with. Do I want to do a membership, or do I want to do a high ticket offer? Do I want to do a course? Do I want to do a group coaching program? What's the price of that program? What's my business model? Etc. etc. All of those questions get answered with brand clarity. Okay. That's number 4. The 5th one is marketing. You getting crystal clear about what your marketing strategy is. This is important because there are lots of different ways to market your business. And if you don't pick the one that aligns with both you and your ideal client, you will be in a perpetual state of confusion. Okay? You will start something and then stop. You will start something and then second guess yourself. You will start something and it won't work because it doesn't align. Right? The key here is alignment. So marketing is about you understanding your strategy, you understanding your marketing materials, okay? You understanding what your launch plan looks like. All of that falls under marketing, okay? If you don't know this, mastermind's not the best fit for you, okay? Here's the last one, then I'm getting off here. The last one is around messaging, and this is the one I think people miss the most, right? I cannot stress enough the importance of messaging. I can't, because it's not about your product. It's not about your credentials. It's not even about your offer. It's about how you position your offer. It's about your ability to display your value. Guess what? I said at the beginning of this video, I signed a 10K client today. You can't sign clients like that without being able to position your products and services in a way that shows the value, right? That positions you as an expert. You have to be able to convey things in a way that touches your clientele's heart, right? Has both the logical and the emotional side, which I won't even get into. But the last piece is messaging. If you need any of those things, right? So messaging is really around your sales copy, your web page copy, your elevator speech, your content creation, and your content strategy. All of that falls under messaging. Okay. If you need any of those things, then you're in the brand clarity phase. However, let's just say you have a pretty good handle on most of them. Okay. Maybe not every single one, but for most of them, you pretty much understand them. And what you really need is support. Okay. Well, now we're moving over to mastermind, right? Guess what? I joined the mastermind after I learned all these things, not before, right? But what I have found looking at other people's masterminds, looking at masterminds that I've been a part of, is that I have seen a lot of people who don't even know the basics. They don't even understand the basics. And then they go 6 months into a year-long mastermind, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 12 months into a year-long mastermind, and they still don't know what they're offering, right? They still don't know what their price points are. They change their mind about different things all the time. If you are in a place where you are looking to invest for Q4, right? Because you're tired of being stuck. Because here's the thing. We need to have CEO mindsets. CEO mindsets. CEOs don't stay stuck. Leaders don't stay stuck. They kick, they scream, they get mad, and then they solve their goddamn problem. Right? So the easiest way for you to do that is for you to find the person who knows the thing that you don't know and pay them. Otherwise, it takes you longer. Really, that's all coaching is about, is acceleration. A lot of these things you could learn on your own, but it's going to take you a lifetime. Because the YouTube video, the book, the course, it only tells you a piece of it. And it can only tell you a piece of it. Otherwise, you'd have a 24-hour YouTube video. Hold on a second. Sorry, people. Knock at the door. Okay, so it's not that you can't learn any of these things on your own, because you can. That's the truth. Everything that I'm going to teach you, you can learn on your own. It's going to take you a fucking lifetime, though. Let me be very clear. It's going to take you a long time. Why? Because it's not just information, it's also skill. Part of what I learned, I paid to understand. But then I also have my own skill that allows me to teach it to you in a more effective way. Right? Teach it to you in a way that makes sense and allows you to accelerate your own process. So whether it's me or some other coach, right? If you are at the place where you're looking to invest in coaching so that way you do not walk into 2020 with the same exact problems that you had at the beginning of the year, or if you're feeling like you haven't made enough progress, right? And you're trying to accelerate that and get your focus again for Q4, then you should consider coaching. Right? Again, it doesn't have to be me. My job is to help you get unstuck. Right? And part of how I help you to get unstuck is not just by coaching you. Right? Part of that is just by showing you, here's what you should be investing in. Here's what you should not be investing in. Why? Because I already made that mistake. I made that mistake for you. So you don't even have to take that. Now, you could go off and make that mistake if you want to. Right? Just because I'm telling you, you still growing. You make whatever decision you want. But that's the reason why this is how God operates, right? He has us go through these experiences so we can tell somebody else and help them avoid those experiences. That's really the entire coaching industry right there. Entire coaching industry. A bunch of people who have been through stuff and they're trying to avoid you making the same mistake. So you can still do it however you want to, but I'm trying to educate you on the process of investing. Right? I think you should be investing. I'm going to forever be investing in my business. Right? Because there are, just disrespectful. There are people who know things that I don't know. A lot of people actually that know a lot of things that I don't know. Right? And so I'm going to be forever investing in my business, both on the coaching side as well as in the kind of done for you side. And this is the last thing that I'm going to say. And then I'm going to get off of here. Some of you really need to be investing in done for you services. Okay. And there is such a thing as done for you brand clarity, right? Because here's what I've learned in my time of doing this. So if you happen to be full throttle into your business or full throttle in a business, right? So perhaps you have a brick and mortar and you're trying to build a coaching arm, or perhaps you're full time in your business and you're trying to get consistent revenue. Whatever it is to be full throttle, okay? You could be in your business full time, or you could not have started the business, but you got other businesses, or you got kids and wives and sick parents and whatever that looks like. If you are, the busier you are, the more you should be hiring someone to do a done for you service. And I'm not talking about somebody to put your website together. Please. I just had to tell somebody this yesterday. It's the same client that I signed today. She asked me, well, what about the website and my colors and my design? I said, listen, we will advise you, but we don't do that shit. Why? Because that don't make you no money. That's not the stuff that make you no money. Now, if you're in e-commerce, that's a little different. You need a website. And the truth is, we all need a website, but it's not a priority. Why? And I told this to my my group. I have a group that's in a Build Your Audience program right now. And I explained to them, how many of you, I signed all of you up for this program. How many of you went to a link? How many of you went to a sales page? Not one. Because I don't need that to sell you. You don't need that to sell people. Okay, that's the thing that I want you to understand. A lot of the things that you think you need, you don't. They are an eventually goal, not an immediate, I need it right now. Right? So the websites and the colors and the branding, all of that is cool, but that's not the stuff that's going to make you the money. So you need to be investing not so much in the websites and the funnels and that's cool too. Like, I think there's a time and a place for that. But what you ought to be investing the most in, again, the busier you are and the faster you want to move, you ought to be investing in done for you services. Someone that can build your system out for you. Someone who can do the market research, for you. Someone who can help you understand your multiple streams of income for you, right? That's one of the things that I do for my clients, right? I know the questions to ask to draw the information out that I need a lot quicker. I was on a call, again, last thing that I'm going to say. I keep saying that, but I mean it this time, okay? I was on a call with a client, and we were looking at her framework, right? The methodology that she uses to take people from where they are right now to where it is that they want to be, okay? And we had to keep going back and forth when I could have just said, okay, this, and this, right? So when we were going back and forth, she was like, okay, well, what do you think about? And I don't know. Oh, I agree with that. But I just don't understand how to. And so I said, okay, do you mind if I just laid this out for you? And then you tell me whether or not that works for you. She was like, absolutely, go ahead. So I laid it out. And I said, okay, this step. And she was like, well, why you didn't just say that front? Because I'm trying not to step on your toes. I mean, we could wrap all of this shit up in an hour. Right? So because I have a skill set, the same way that you have a skill set, right? Whatever that skill set, whatever that gift that God has given you, mine happens to be this strategy / teaching / it's really strategic, right? So a lot of people don't like tactical kinds of things. They don't like putting business plans together. They don't like, creating curriculum and all this stuff that uses a different part of your brain. That's my jam. That's my shit. Okay, I don't know. I made that song up. My point is, the busier you are, the faster you want to go, the more you should be investing in done for you kinds of clarity. Now, let's be clear, it's going to cost more money. All done for you stuff costs more money. However, it gets you where you want to be faster. Okay. So anyway, those are my suggestions, my tips, my everything for today. Go back and watch the video from yesterday first, right? So you'll have more context. Then watch this video all the way through. Because what I want you to do is to make a sound investment. A sound investment. Investing in the right thing at the right time. What I did was invest in the right thing at the wrong time. And what that does is creates information overload. It creates confusion. It creates self-doubt because you learn things that don't necessarily fit together. Dead that. We're not doing that in Q4. Q4 is about momentum, right? It's about putting yourself in a place where you're closer and closer and closer to getting the results that you want. Right? If you ain't made no money all year, or you've been making inconsistent money all year, then we just not going to count $1 million in Q4. We just going to go ahead and put that dream in our pocket. Okay? But what we can do is make some money in Q4. And what we can do is put ourselves in a position where all of our systems are in place. I know exactly who I serve. I don't have no question about that. I know exactly what to say to them. My sales pages is done. My web copy is done. My sales script is done. My framework is laid out. My marketing strategy, my graphics, all of that stuff puts you in momentum. I see a lot of people who jump straight into trying to get clients, and they don't got none of this. And guess what that causes you to do? Waste time, waste money, and waste energy, because you're not learning it in the order that it requires. Business is like math. It builds on top of each other. You could be the coldest salesperson on the planet, right? You could get people on the phone and have a 90% close rate. But if you don't understand marketing, which is the prerequisite to sales, guess what? You ain't gonna have nobody to talk to. And you could be the coldest marketing person on the planet, right? Literally, you know how to get people to show up to your stuff. But if you don't first have good products and services, your prices, right? Well, you ain't gonna be able to get them to buy nothing. You might be able to get them to you, right? But you have to have an irresistible offer to get them to convert. So my point is, business builds on top of each other. Do yourself a favor and learn the things that you need to learn in order to accelerate your results in Q4. I'm out. Peace.